What is your favorite? Quality versus quantity. Example. Work. You will have some bosses that say, take any time you need, get your job done and be ready to work when you have to. While others want your butt in a chair at your desk for 8 hours every day, no questions asked. Studying. I have friends who study for hours and hours but don't target specific material in a way that's effective. There have been tons of academic studies that show which kinds of studying are the most effective for retention, so I stick to those and end up studying for far less time. Edit. Worst studying techniques are cramming and rereading or highlighting the material. Best studying techniques are slower and cumulative and involve rewriting the material into a study guide or flashcards, as well as doing lots of practice questions. Tools. 1 quality screwdriver, wrench or whatever will last you a lifetime and can replace dozens of cheap tools. A party. I used to party a lot, because I thought that's what fun was supposed to be. Now I just sometimes go to the parties I myself really like. Much better. 1 good kitchen knife. 1 good pan for cooking. Cowboy Bebop is only 26 episodes. Clothing. I used to buy so many cheap items of clothing because it was only a few dollars. Then one day I realized I had so much clothing but nothing that great or that lasted more than a few uses. It's so much better to buy a couple of good quality pieces of clothing that you can wear for multiple occasions than to buy a bunch of cheap stuff. A nice fitted suit versus 3 ill-fitted suits purchased from an average place. Same price, but makes a world of difference. I'd prefer one mighty poop over pebble dashing the back of the toilet with 1,000 tiny pooplets. Birthdays and anniversaries wouldn't be special if you had them every day, right? Me in high school buys cheap earphones to use for the week just to see it inevitably break. Me today sweet wireless noise cancelling earbuds with pretty good sound quality and fast charging. I've saved so much money. There's been a recent trend of TV shows only having like 10 episodes per season instead of 20 plus, and a lot of times it's so much better for the show. Approximately 30 years ago I bought a couple of cooking spoons, each a solid piece of stainless steel. Paid $6 total. My mother-in-law bit at me for wasting money, because I could have gotten the cheap chromed ones with plastic handles for $3.78 total. I said the two I chose would last longer. She said I just wanted fancy things and thought I was better than other people. I'm still using mine 30 years later. Hell, my grandchildren will probably be using them. They are beautiful and functional. Edit. As requested, the spoons. https://m.imgur.com/8fnr03. Alfredo's Pizza Cafes of Pizza by Alfredo. My mom's last days. 2 weeks from pancreatic cancer diagnosis to her death. We were expecting to be able to care for her at home for at least a couple of months. She refused treatment. But 2 days after coming home, realizing how much strain would be put on us to care for her, my eldest niece was on the verge of dropping out of her final year of school to look after her beloved granny. I think my mom, always the stubborn independent one, just decided, nah, not doing this to my family. I'm going to go see my husband. But honestly, minus the 2 days we had with her were all quality. Someone was sitting with her every second. She battled to speak at the end, but her kids and grandkids and her puppy were all there. We all got to say everything that had always been unsaid. When we ran out of words, we sang to her. She literally died in her granddaughter's arms. Of course, we'd have loved a bit longer, but for her, quality was definitely better than the quantity that would just have included increasing suffering and dependence and indignity. Makeup. Can't believe no one else has said this. And I don't mean to shame anyone / too much makeup is disgusting, but you can get a good coverage with good quality products instead of having to reapply sheet stuff by layers. Medical treatment. Give me a few top-notch providers over dozens of morons who don't know what they're doing. For me, it's working out. I do about 10 to 15 legit push-ups per set instead of rushing and doing 100 not legit push-ups. And #XB. Edit. I do not mean that you should stop on this. I agree with all that you must increase reps or add on additional weight. My point is that doing your workout in right pose and right shape is more important than doing many but not in right pose. That's it. And #XB. PS I also said that I do 10 to 15 reps per set. I do about 5 sets, so count that up. Birmingham. UK. Having more canals than Venice. I'd rather eat in one great restaurant once a month than go somewhere crap or order takeout on a more frequent basis. Tattoos. Much better to wait, save the money and get well done ones that you enjoy. Even if they are dumb and pointless, at least they are good quality. Ducks. I'd rather have one really great duck than a bunch of shitty ones. Compliments. Constant stream of compliments greatly lessens the impact. And even if there are some genuine ones among other, they go unnoticed. If you give very few compliments, but always mean them, they are something that will stick with people sometimes their entire lives. The Grand Army of the Republics of the Confederacy of Independent Systems in Star Wars. People who can't stop talking all the time but their words mean nothing, and people who only say a few words but they are valuable. You can read the textbook cover to cover, read the notes over 3x, but if you don't absorb anything, you're wasting your time. It's better to go over the lectures slowly and try to predict what kind of questions will be asked on the exam. Then write your own practice exam, take a break to clear your mind, and see how much of it you get right. I've gone through about 6 cars and finally got a nice Toyota, and this sheet is nicer than all 6 cars combined and will hopefully run longer than all 6 cars combined. Waiting tables. Even in the same restaurant you can have different people, sections, or even just a different night that rolls to the other end of the spectrum. One really good group and nothing else to do gets hangout time and lots of hand-picked recommendations. Crazy busy gets everything as quick as can be so that the table gets used more times. Either one can make you lots of money. You just have to recognize the situation and roll with it. Better to stay quiet and be assumed an idiot than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. Speak little but say a lot. After a while, people will begin to realize that when you do open your mouth, it's because you have something important to say, and tend to listen much more closely than they would to a chatterbox making the same point. I don't know if it's been said, but toilet paper. I can buy a 12-pack of horrible of one ply and feel like I'm wiping my ass with dragon teeth. Or buy a 3-pack that has good quality and feels like I'm wiping with clouds. Life. I would rather die than be kept alive by a machine. The quality of my life is far more important to me than the amount of time I live. Death. I'd rather die once and do a quality imuta here than die and keep respawning. Memes. It's a bad time when your feed is drowning in bad memes. Find 1 or 2 accounts you like, and that's it. Medications. Quantity can literally kill you. Winter jackets. I got my husband a very expensive ski jacket that is warm, lightweight, but breathable. The last one he had was purchased 8 years ago. My friend was disgusted that I spent so much on the jacket. She buys a few hundred in cheap jackets every year. I told her to tally up how much she spent on her jackets, and she spent double what I paid. This isn't to say every jacket should be that expensive, but he hasn't had to replace it for quite some time. Sex. Bad sex is bad sex. It's not like pizza. It's just like bad sex.